In the spring of 2026, the conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran escalated into open, kinetic warfare. Missiles streaked across the night sky, leveling entire city blocks and leaving deep craters in the desert sands. Allied forces targeted Iran's most heavily guarded physical assets, including the uranium processing and heavy water facilities in Iraq and Yazd. Anticipating a counterattack, the U.S. and its allies relied on institutional cybersecurity defenses that took decades and billions of dollars to build. Firewalls were raised, networks isolated, and critical infrastructure locked down against state-level digital retaliation. While institutional perimeters held, attackers prioritized a specific high-value individual, Kash Patel, the current director of the FBI. Hackers breached his personal inbox, scraping over 300 historical emails, private photographs, and a copy of his personal resume, releasing them all directly to the public. Breaking into a hardened national security fortress requires immense technical resources. Exploiting the personal, off-the-clock digital habits of the people who run that fortress requires almost none. The group claiming responsibility for the leak calls itself Handala. Online, they present themselves as independent, pro-Palestinian hacktivists acting out of ideological solidarity. Western intelligence assessments paint a different picture. Security researchers at the Department of Justice have linked Handala directly to Iran's Ministry of Intelligence, operating as a state-sponsored proxy. This same group previously executed a massive cyber attack on Stryker, a major American medical technology provider, deleting vast amounts of corporate data and disrupting their global manufacturing pipeline. But their operation against the FBI director relied on a different method. Handala never penetrated the Bureau's classified networks. The J. Edgar Hoover building's digital perimeter remained secure. The group targeted Patel's personal Gmail account instead, scraping a decade's worth of casual correspondence from well before he assumed control of the agency. Handala's strategy is highly efficient. By sidestepping billion-dollar agency defenses, they compromise high-level targets through the relatively unprotected infrastructure of their private lives. There is a long history of high-level U.S. officials conducting government business or maintaining sensitive communications on unsecured private technology. The Federal Records Act governs how officials manage these communications. However, the entire system relies heavily on self-policing, expecting individuals to voluntarily copy or forward relevant messages to official archives. Relying on individuals to filter and preserve their own data creates an inherent conflict of interest. More importantly, it leaves potentially sensitive communications lingering on unsecured private servers for years. A government email account is surrounded by multi-layered security protocols, mandatory encryption, and constant threat hunting. A personal commercial account is generally protected by a single password and standard two-factor authentication. Private accounts lack the continuous institutional monitoring required to detect a sophisticated, state-sponsored intrusion in real time. When a foreign intelligence service enters a personal inbox, no alarms go off at the agency. The current reliance on personal discretion is a vulnerability. It allows foreign intelligence services to bypass the strongest institutional firewalls through a leader's smartphone. The Department of Justice classifies the Patel leak as a psychological scaremongering campaign. Of the director smoking cigars or posing with a bottle of rum, Handala sought to trivialize the head of U.S. domestic intelligence, shrinking a powerful figure down to an embarrassing caricature. This matches Handala's operational history. They previously leaked thousands of emails and private photos belonging to senior Israeli politicians, including former Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz. The message Iran sends with these hacks is clear. Physical bodyguards and secured facilities cannot protect an official's most private, unguarded moments from foreign surveillance. In the middle of an open military conflict, this kind of pressure is designed to breed paranoia. It forces leaders to wonder what else might be lingering in their old inboxes, ready to be weaponized for domestic political discord. United States intelligence claims to have destroyed roughly 2/3 of Iran's physical missile arsenal. But their digital arsenal remains fully intact and highly effective. The 2026 war proves that while physical missiles can be intercepted, a leaked personal inbox is a permanent liability.